All right. Morning, folks. Tuesday, getting to the end of April here. Headed into Mobile this morning. Gonna continue some turnover tasks and duties over um, at the house in Mobile. Had the laundry picked up to the main house yesterday, but I usually do the laundry for the back house just on site, just because it's less laundry typically, and it's not a big deal to do it manually there. We did end up getting a booking there in Mobile for this coming weekend. Not huge revenue, but 260, $390 or something like that for 3 nights, plus an extra 275 cleaning fee. So hard to pass that up. But curiously enough, it was a VRBO booking, and VRBO reached out to us and sent us an email, I don't know, a couple hours after we got the booking. The guests had already done all of the tasks that they're required to do after completing a booking, signed the paperwork, submitted the ID for verification, damage waiver, all that kind of stuff. Um, So, we were basically satisfied. And then, like I said, Verbo, a couple hours later, sends us a message. They said, hey, um, you need to remind this guest of your house rules on, no parties and events. And, if you think there's an issue, you can cancel this booking, uh, without consequence by, following this link here. So there's something that they've flagged as suspicious. Generally, what you look out for on ID verifications is whether or not the guest is local. So, for Mobile, Airbnb, it's kind of atypical for an Airbnb to be successful in Mobile. It's basically commuter travel. Um, and maybe special events and something like that. So what ends up happening is owners drop their rates down in order to try to get bookings, and it makes it an easy target for somebody to throw a party. So you have to watch out for um, people that are renting your house on the cheap in an attempt to get 80, 150 people over there to throw a party. But the person who made the booking, there was a name discrepancy. It was um, the last names didn't match. I suspect that it's potentially a maiden name situation based on the date of birth that was submitted on the ID. The person who completed the booking was, what was she? I'm 36. She was 43 years old. Um, I assume it was a she. Um, I mean, it's not exactly your typical party booker. But in an abundance of caution, we did send him a message this morning. Just said, "Hey, look, your booking was made under this name, and then the ID that you submitted was this name. What's the deal?" And then just kind of follow up question was, "We've got you booked for 4 adults. Who you traveling with, and what brings you to Mobile?" Usually that string of questions is more than enough to figure out whether or not there's a problem. We've never, um, I say never, we almost never run into issues when somebody comes up with a legitimate reason and a legitimate group of travel partners um, for those two questions there. So, kind of a unique thing. I might try to reach out to Verbo and see if I can get any more insight as to what they flagged. I suspect that that'll be a harder task um, than I'd like for it to be. They're probably just going to say, "Oh, we evaluate thousands of factors and millions of bookings, and the AI computer system flags certain bookings, and we don't know what they are." or we don't know what the reasons are. So that's the kind of response that I've kind of come to expect in today's day and age from Airbnb and VRBO. It's kind of just one of those things that you have to deal with, and you have to have your own processes in place um, to protect yourself. Because no truer words have been said than Airbnb and VRBO aren't actually out to protect you. They've got the AirCover thing that Airbnb's got AirCover, which is supposed to protect you, but it's more of a minimum safeguard that they've implemented uh, to to get people comfortable with using their platform than it is something that's actually just willy nilly there for you know the sake of hosts. So that's what we're dealing with this morning. Like I said, I'm not entirely worried about it based off of the safeguards we've got in place, but we'll see what comes of it, if anything. Um, got a message from Truby this morning. They had set that low ball settlement offer on the guest damage reimbursement up in Tuscaloosa, to which I'd responded with some follow up emails. Apparently, those follow up emails didn't get dropped into the correct workflow because the representative at Truvy that we've been dealing with, sent a follow up, said, "Hey, you know, looking for your banking details so I can send you this low ball offer." And I said, "Well, I'm still waiting on a response to my last two emails." So drop those into. We've got like a portal that we go into for resolutions and stuff, and like I said, that those emails didn't get dropped into that portal correctly, so that person doesn't know about those emails, obviously. So got to put those in, getting all that conversation back in, one channel, so that everybody can kind of be on the same page and read and respond back and forth that way. But that's the update for this Tuesday. Not much to report. Got a 5-star review from our recent guest that checked out at the main house in Mobile. Um, they left a really good, really nice comment for future guests, complimenting us on the towels. The towels that we've got in that unit are actually some Brooks Brothers towels that we got, at Home Goods just on surplus. So, I've talked a little bit about that and how annoying it's going to be to try to figure out what I'm going to do to replace those when we invariably have to find some replacements. But it's good to know that somebody kind of recognized that, hey, look, we splurged a little bit. So, anyways, that's a Tuesday update. We're at the light here, waiting to head into the bankhead. Um, Appreciate y'all following along. Like I said, this is just kind of a stream of consciousness from me, letting y'all see kind of the inner workings of a vacation rental property manager, and kind of what we're dealing with on a day-to-day basis. Hope it's interesting to somebody. At some point, I suspect that we'll get picked up by an algorithm, and they'll figure out who wants to watch this content. We hadn't gotten there yet, but I don't have anything else to do. I'm driving on the Causeway. So appreciate y'all following along. If y'all got any questions, need to get in contact with me, y'all can give me a buzz. Office number is 850-988-9741. Or my email address is info at Euphoria Vacations. That's EUPHORIA vacations.com. Would love to talk with you. Let me know if you got any questions. Thanks. Have a happy Tuesday.